Hello again, Dave Cicchini coming at you with a recap of our big game against Central Michigan. I'm joined by two of our linebackers. To my left is senior captain Ben Allen, and to my right is junior Blake Leak. Blake is from Culpeper, Virginia, and Ben, you're from the great state of Ohio, right? Would you call it a great state?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. That's my birth state, so I'm a Cincinnati guy. So anyway, looking back at the Central Michigan game, it was a great trip. It was awesome for us to charter a flight. We landed at Lansing, and we drove up to Mount Pleasant. It was a beautiful day for football. And we came out really doing a good job. Our defense did a phenomenal job. Really, the first 5 or 6 possessions, we did a great job of stopping the run, doing a great job of pursuing to the football, coming up huge on a couple of third down conversions, forcing an interception, and holding Central Michigan to a couple of missed field goals at the start. Offensively, things going up against a very tough Central Michigan defense, particularly up front where they've got a lot of veteran players, but we were able to put together several good drives. We had some snapping issues as the game went on, and that really led to a lot of negative plays. We missed a field goal, but we were right in there at halftime. And one of the reasons I've got both of these guys here is both of them played a phenomenal game. Ben, just going to you first. What did you see Central Michigan trying to do? Anything different than we prepared for?
No, nothing crazy from what we saw in practice all week. Definitely tried to run pretty early in the game and get their running game established, but I wouldn't say there was much different. They took a few shots, and definitely for the first 2.5 quarters, we were able to respond pretty well to what they threw at us.
Right. Now, you're a veteran, all right? You've been with the team when we traveled to play Temple last year when we went to West Point and played Army. How would you compare the atmosphere at Central Michigan to those other two FBS venues?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty cool atmosphere to play in. Play at Central Michigan. I don't say there's over 20,000, right?
Sure.
That were there. A pretty hostile student section, but yeah, it was definitely a cool environment. I would still say Army was my favorite environment to play in, but it was definitely awesome to play in front of that many people, and it was an awesome stadium to play in, so it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Great. Blake, didn't get a chance to go to Temple because you weren't on part of the program yet, but what was your as we leave your first trip on a plane and playing at in front of 20-some thousand people? What were your impressions here at the game?
It was an awesome experience. It was a lot of fun. I thought that for the first time we stepped on the field at warm-ups till the end, even though it wasn't the result we wanted, but that hostile crowd, I think that made it 10 times better. Ben said he liked Army better, but personally I thought Central Michigan was more fun because the crowd was that much more against us and getting booed running on the field. I enjoyed that a lot. So
it was definitely a educated fan base.
Oh, yeah.
They knew when to yell, and they did a great job. And you're right, that Army game, at halftime everybody was forced out of the stadium because of the inclement weather. So this was 60 minutes where people stayed around and they knew when to cheer. As we got into the second half, and I think they started wearing us down. Did you just see anything in the second half that was different? Were they executing better? Do you think we got tired? What was the behind we had that lapse just in the second half as they started scoring points?
That's a tough question. I thought we played hard. We definitely didn't roll over. It's tough going up against those guys. They're a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, and I would say that wear on us a little bit. But we definitely didn't quit, definitely didn't give up.
Yeah, no, it was great effort, and we played a lot of players, particularly that second half. I think it was tough, from the head coach's viewpoint. When we put our second team in against their second team, that's really where they scored. Their last 3 touchdowns were the 2s versus 2s, so to speak, and so it was disappointing that our 2s weren't able to compete as hard against their 2s as our 1s did against their 1s. But it was a great experience overall, and I think we've gained enough positive things from the game, and and the health of the team is still pretty good after 3 weeks of football. Now we've got the off week here, no opponent on Saturday. What do you see as things here that the defense needs to work on this week when we don't have an opponent?
Right, definitely just getting back to the fundamentals, getting back to the basics. Getting a little more indie time would be good in practice. Coach Bragg loves his indie time. So, we had a few missed tackles, a few more things we could block out better on block defeat, stuff like that. So I think getting back to that, we'll be ready to roll against Lafayette.
Yeah, absolutely. We certainly have a lot of confidence in our defense. We put together, not complete football games, but we've played some really, really good football against some really good offenses. Now, Ben, getting back to you, you've had really 3 coordinators on the defensive side of the ball in your time here. How would you attribute the success that we've had? Obviously, we've had some pretty good defenses here over the years. What do you think is making this year's defense special with Coach Bowers?
I mean, he's come in and done a really good job at, I think, definitely our culture side. Like from day one when he stepped in, I mean, our big motto is run to win, and it's just all about pursuit to the football. And I think he always says that eliminates mistakes, and that's true. We're not gonna be perfect out there, but like if we all have each other's backs, we're all running the football, so we can fix someone else's mistakes or someone can fix mine. Makes a big difference. And then I also think we have a lot of veterans on our side of the ball, which has helped us out. And great scheme. Coach Bragg, Coach Schaefer, they do a great job in getting us ready for the game. I feel more prepared more than ever when I go into a game this year, and I think that's really attributed to a lot of our success, because I know everyone else feels that way too.
Yep, that's right, and I think the whole team kind of can feed off of just the energy that comes out of the defensive side of the ball, and certainly you two guys play a big part of that with some of the big physical plays that you guys were making on Saturdays. This week, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a bye, which is great. We need to get back to fundamentals. There's certainly things that we need to clean up on in really all 3 phases of the game. And then next up, we're finally back at home, Christy Mathewson Memorial Stadium. Our first Patriot League opponent, Lafayette, comes to town. So we're eager to get a chance to watch them. They'll be playing Penn this weekend, and hopefully we'll get a chance to get a little head start on them when it comes to game planning. When we do get to our next home game, it is football alumni weekend. We've got a big Hall of Fame ceremony going on, and we've got a bruncheon on Sunday, which if you are interested in, make sure that you contact Todd Newcomb and RSVP, and myself. I'll be there, and we'll have about half a dozen of our players, and we look forward to seeing as many as you that can possibly make it. Until then, go Bison.